Before we get into how to yield to forgiveness and let go of unforgiveness, I want to preface this conversation by saying it's not easy. This isn't one of those videos where I'm going to tell you to forgive, forget, and all the cliche things, because I do understand that people go through things that are very, very, very traumatic, that are very hurtful, very disappointing, very triggering, and it's not easy to just let that go. So, as I speak, I want you to understand that I'm speaking from a spiritual standpoint, from a biblical standpoint, and not a carnal standpoint. And the reason why I have to say that is because when you get into this whole idea of, well, they did something worse than what I did, or they did something horrible and they don't deserve forgiveness, and you get into the comparisons on a carnal level, it will be hard to forgive. But understand that forgiveness is something that is very spiritual, and you have to yield to the Spirit in order for it to flow through you, especially if the thing that you went through was very traumatic and triggering. Apart from God, you can do nothing. And this is what the Bible says. So as you are trying to use your willpower to forgive someone who hurt you or forgive someone who hurt someone else, it's going to be very hard. Okay, we are born with a mixture of good and bad. We have a sinful nature, so our judgment is not naturally righteous in all cases. 2, you have to realize that life is a mirror. So when you begin to look at other people, whatever you speak about them is coming from your heart. The mouth speaks what the heart is full of. So you are just projecting what goes on internally. So as long as there's condemnation for them, there's also condemnation for you. And when you finish this video, I really want you to read Luke chapter 7, verses 36 through 50, because this is displayed in the Bible, where when you don't hold a mirror up to yourself and see yourself as a sinner as well, you will not be able to display love, compassion, grace, mercy on other people, because you have failed to see how much you have been forgiven for. So as long as you are focused on God and you put your focus on Him, allow Him to dwell inside of you, forgiveness can reign from you because you've opened your heart and allowed it to do so. So again, thinking back to when you fell short, where were you at? Were you close to God? Did you know God? Were you in your word? Did you care about going to church? Did you care about hurting God or anything like that? Probably not, because that was not on your radar. People move based off of what they've learned, what they've experienced, what they've gone through. We're like little kids. The same way a little kid doesn't know stealing, they may steal some gum out the store, and then you tell them, we don't take stuff, we got to take it back, we got to go here. They stole. The only difference is the lenses that you're looking at the child through is compassion. Oh, well, they didn't know any better. Oh, well, they're just a kid. If you use those same lenses to look at other people as they're going through life the same way you are, they might have gotten abused as well. So the only thing they know is abuse. They might have had a narcissistic parent. So the only thing they know is narcissism. Based off of their identities, their beliefs, their traumas, their triggers, based off of what they had going on inside of them, that's what they're projecting out. So if you look at it from that perspective, you say, wow, they may not know God enough to know that what they're doing is very, very harmful, not only to me, but also to themselves. If you have not sat down and dissected your faults, how can you remove the speck from your brother's eye if you have a plank in yours? A lot of the times we forget that we are too sinners. Although we are no longer slaves to sin and we are slaves to righteousness now, we have gone through things and we have done some things that we are not proud of. Am I excusing what people did? Absolutely not. But again, when you look at it from a spiritual perspective and you look at the people as God's creation, all they're doing is they're not operating in the way God created them to operate. And you may just be the only representation of God that is in their life. But if you're giving them the same thing the world gives, if you're giving unforgiveness, if you're giving resentment, if you're giving anger, if you're giving nastiness, That's not a representation of the kingdom. And this is why people look at Christians like hypocrites, or they run from the church, because we move like the world as opposed to showing them what God's love really looks like. But if you don't experience God's love for yourself, you cannot give them what you have not received. This is why you have to hold a mirror up to yourself and talk to God about what you've done, not what other people have done to you, not the traumas that you've gone through and you've been a victim and all. No, what you have done. Because when you dissect what you have done, you allow God's grace, mercy, his love, and his forgiveness to reign on you. And you just want to give that to other people, because it's like, wow, I've done some messed up stuff. And if you knew the God that I serve, you would not only forgive yourself, but you will no longer walk on that path. In order for you to be a light, you have to expose your darkness to yourself and to God, and allow him to shine his light on it so you can shine your light on other people. You can't do that carnally. You can't do that by yourself. You have to work it out with God. The Bible doesn't say all things are possible for God. It says with. You must partner with God in order to execute this. You must humble yourself, because when you sit on a high horse and have self-righteousness enough to look down on other people while still holding your hand out and asking God for his forgiveness, you got to check yourself, because you are no better than them. And again, when you have your carnal lenses on, you can compare and say, well, they murdered. All I did was lie. Well, they stole from a baby, but all I did was I just bent the truth a little bit, or I just slept around a little bit. That's all I did. It wasn't as extreme as them. And then you become real self-righteous and your ego begins to talk, and you begin to feel like, well, I didn't do the bad things you did, so I deserve forgiveness because I didn't go as far as you. Take off your carnal lenses, put on your spiritual ones. As you deny yourself, take up your cross and follow Jesus. Be the representation of God in their life. Show compassion and love for them. And in order for you to do that, you have to be real with your sins and what you have done, so God can pour the love into you that you can pour into others. And until next time, bye friends.